Hey everybody, I'm Max Lopez and this is the Blue Wave. Ever since Roe v. Wade was overturned last year, we've heard a lot of different arguments about why it was the right thing from the Republican right wing in the United States. And these arguments have included that we're just trying to save the children and save the unborn, and every life is precious, and every kid deserves to live a life, and as soon as the moment contraception happens, that is a living baby inside of a woman's stomach, and it deserves to have a life just like anybody else. What I've always thought is that it's a pretty lousy excuse for what they are really seeking to do, which is control women and saddle women with a lifetime of debt and economic immobility based on having an unwanted pregnancy too early in their life when they were economically and socially unprepared to have a child and to raise it to be an adult. And now what we have is some new data that's showing just how men are using the overturn of Roe v. Wade to pressure women to have children that they do not want and to manipulate and control them ultimately. So let's look at this article here real quick. It's from Vice. It says domestic abusers are using abortion bans to control their victims. After Roe v. Wade fell, the National Domestic Violence Hotline saw a 99% increase in callers reporting that people were trying to control their reproductive choices. When the Supreme Court overturned Roe v. Wade, people warned abortion bans would become another tool for people to abuse their partners. A year later, early data indicates those warnings were right. In the year before Roe fell, roughly 1,230 people told the National Domestic Violence Hotline that they had endured some kind of what anti-domestic abuse activists call reproductive coercion, including being denied an abortion or being forced into one. In the year since it was overturned, 2,442 people said the same. That's a 99% increase. When you have laws that come along that are now stripping survivors of their bodily autonomy and right to control their own lives and health, which is exactly what abusive partners are trying to do, it is taking the harm even further, said Crystal Justice, Chief External Affairs Officer for the National Domestic Violence Hotline. Abusive partners, Justice said, now feel emboldened and justified in their use of reproductive coercion to control the survivor, which in many cases includes survivors being forced to become pregnant. Reproductive coercion occurs when abusive partners use sex as a tool to control, such as through pressuring their partner into sexual activity, refusing to use contraception or sabotaging it, or denying people access to reproductive health care, like abortion. This is becoming easier and easier for men to do because they now feel emboldened that the Supreme Court has decided that this is something that should not happen in women having legal access to abortions. And these abusive a-holes, as the statistics show, are now using it to coerce women to having a kid that they don't want to have at a 99% higher rate than was before Roe v. Wade was overturned. Already seeing real world effects of this, guys. This is already having very, very, very serious implications for tons and tons of women across the country. And one more thing is that you can't be for saving children, quote unquote, and being about every life is precious and every life deserves a chance to blossom and to succeed when you vote against various bills and various measures that are designed to help children live better lives and help parents have an easier time raising their children. such as Biden's child tax credit extension, which was blocked by Republicans who did not want the $300 a month that had been going out to parents across the country, $300 per child. That was a lifeline, and it saved tons and tons of children from being in poverty. And it solved food insecurity, it solved impoverishment, it solved a lot of issues for families raising children. And the Republicans, what did they do? They didn't want it. All right. Voting to fund education year after year after year. The Republicans always find a way to decrease education funding and to make public school as ineffective and as terrible as they can possibly make it, because they know that educated voters and educated people are not going to fall for their stupid tricks and are going to see right through their tactics. And so children being educated is not something that they want. And they do not want to save children. They want to hurt children. Look no further than how many times have we had a shooter walk into a classroom with an AR-15 rifle or similar rifles and shoot up classrooms. Sandy Hook, 20 plus school children and staff dead. More recently, in Texas, in Uvalde, when you had a similar amount of children and staff killed in school. What do? Do they propose any meaningful gun legislation that's going to protect children in schools? No, they don't. They go Second Amendment, Second Amendment, Second Amendment, when children now, the leading cause of death of children is now gun violence. It's not car accidents, it's not accidental death, it's not disease, it's gun violence, the number one killer of children. So you'd think that if they really were wanting to protect the children, as much as they say that they want to, they would be for continuing the child tax credit. They would be for stricter gun control measures that protect kids in school. They would be for funding our education systems much, much more than they currently are. And to people who say, if you don't want to have a kid, well, don't have sex. Women who don't want to get pregnant, well, there's a way you can not get pregnant, right? Just don't have sex. Well, guess what? It takes two people to make a baby. It takes two people. Okay? So why should all the blame fall onto the women who are being impregnated unwantingly? Why would the blame not fall squarely on the man for not taking more measures to make sure that the act of sex is not going to result in a pregnancy? A guy has to participate as well in the process for there to be a baby that is made. So to just demonize women and tell them that they should just be abstinent and not participate in the act, well, that doesn't justify that doesn't excuse the men that are also being irresponsible and are creating these pregnancies. And what Roe v. Wade represented was a last resort for women when all the other things have not been able to prevent a pregnancy. Getting an abortion and having a legal right to it was the last line of safety for these women, and it's now gone. And now what we're seeing is that even states that are legal and where abortion is still accessible to women, there's now a bill that's being introduced or blocked. There's a bill that's being blocked that would protect women who travel to other states for abortions. So they say they want to save the kids, but they don't do anything to save the kids. They say they want the issue of abortion to be a state right, and they want individual states to be able to make the decision, but then they're going to block people from going to those states where it's legal. I mean, it all doesn't add up to anything what they're saying it is. It doesn't add up. What it does add up to is there's growing signs that Republican men are using their power in office, in the United States federal government, in state governments, in local governments, to remake society to be in their vision and to be exactly how they want everything to be. And for women to do the things that they think women to do, for minorities to do the things that they think that they should do, and for white people to be where they think they should be, which is on top of everybody, bossing everybody around and having everybody kiss their feet and thank them for the opportunity to kiss their feet. That's what Republicans want. Thank you so much for watching. Please be sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel, comment down below. Let me know what you think about domestic abusers using the fall of Roe v. Wade to increase their abuse of their partners. It's awful. Catch you guys in the next one, and have a great day.